What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. This is the next video in my Should You Play series, going into TBC from vanilla. And in this video, we're going to be talking about one of the most played classes in the Burning Crusade, and that is going to be Hunters, right? We're going to talk about every major change for Hunters going from vanilla into the Burning Crusade, each specialization's PvE and PvP performance, how they play, how it scales, and what kind of player should be playing Hunter moving into the Burning Crusade. So for Chapter 1, we're going to start with every single change for Hunters moving from vanilla into the Burning Crusade, right? We are going to talk about everything because Hunters change drastically moving from vanilla into TBC. So you've gotten some new abilities and talents, right? You've gotten Steady Shot, which gives Hunters a smooth and reliable rotation. You get Misdirection, which allows you to transfer threat to the tank, which is arguably some of the best raid utilities from any DPS. You get Aspect of the Viper, which restores mana based on your ranged attacks, so no more mana issues for Hunters. You have Kill Command being introduced into the game, which triggers a powerful attack from your pet after massive crits. You get Serpent's Swiftness, which is a massive attack speed bonus, and then obviously you get Pet Scaling. This is massive, right? Pets now benefit from Hunter stats like attack power, hit, and crit. The Dead Zone is completely removed. Hunters can shoot targets at any range now in TBC. Ammo has been reworked. Ammo scales properly with DPS weapons and bonuses. You get better itemization, right? Lots of agility / attack power mail gear now moving into TBC, and traps can now be placed in combat, right? Overall, Hunters become the most consistent DPS class in especially the early parts of TBC. Mid to late game, they fall off a little bit, but they're still extremely competitive, and early on, they're going to be really hard to beat once you get your dungeon set. So for the next part of the video, we're going to talk specifically about Beast Mastery Hunters, and we're going to start off with PvE DPS. They are the king of early TBC DPS. It's going to be very hard to beat a Beast Mastery Hunter. Steady Shot, Auto Shot, Kill Command, Serpent Sting. It's just a super smooth and strong rotation, very easy to play. You get Serpent Swiftness and Ferocious Inspiration. They make you and your raid even stronger. Pet does a large chunk of your total damage, right? So if your pet dies, you're going to be lacking on the DPS meter quite a bit, so make sure you keep your pet alive. I'm not kidding, like 45% of your DPS comes from your pet. It's easy to play, but it's definitely hard to optimize with shot timing and pet uptime. Like I said, if you let your pet die, or if you're missing the timing and clipping your shots, it's not going to be the best DPS, but if you master that stuff, which is fairly simple, you are going to be pumping and people are going to have a hard time keeping up with you. You dominate all the way through tier 5 and you fall slightly behind after that, but you're still extremely strong and competitive. Every raid wants at least one BM Hunter for Ferocious Inspiration. That's the buff that you're going to be bringing, right? As for PvP though, Beast Mastery Hunters can be terrifying in battlegrounds and small-scale PvP. In 2s, with the right comp, you can absolutely dominate. You get Bestial Wrath, you get Beast Within, so you're immune to CC for you and your pet for a little bit of time there. You're a very strong duelist in one-on-one situations. It's going to be hard to beat a good BM Hunter, especially versus those squishy casters, right? Like Mage, Warlock, Priest. BM Hunter kind of shreds those, especially early on. But your weaknesses is that you are pretty predictable, right? Your damage is all in these burst windows. And if you do tend to get locked down, you're pretty much done after that. You know, you're really going to have a hard time getting out of those situations. But, you know, obviously you're going to be paired with some comps if you're going into 2s and 3s early on in TBC where, you know, you really can shine and take people down fairly quick. In summary, though, for Beast Mastery Hunters, you're a PvE god early on in TBC. No, like, it's going to be, I'm not kidding when I say it's going to be very hard to beat Beast Mastery Hunters because I feel like the skill ceiling is pretty low. You know, it's not as low as Warlock where all you're doing is hitting Shadow Bolt, but, you know, your arcane mages haven't ramped up yet. They're still getting mana issues and things early on in TBC. So Beast Mastery Hunter is probably going to be top DPS if not second, but right there with top DPS early on in TBC. In PvP, you're fun, you're an aggressive play style, you're immune to CC, which makes you an absolute wrecking ball throughout those windows. But I would say this spec is perfect for players who love that pet synergy, fast, consistent, aggressive gameplay where you're getting these massive burst windows at ranged. You know, you will really enjoy it. I'm personally maining Beast Mastery Hunter for at least the first half of TBC. It's one of my favorite specs to play in TBC. TBC, not only because it's a top DPS, but it's just a lot of fun to play. I played it the first time around and had an absolute blast. Moving into the next part of the video, we're going to talk about our marksmanship hunters, right? In terms of PvE DPS, you fall out of favor compared to BM early on, but you're still decent, right? You bring True Shot Aura to the raid, which is an attack power buff for physical DPS. It's a very mana-intensive playstyle, especially before Aspect of the Viper is active, right? You have great weapon scaling, strong sustained single target DPS, but that's going to be in much later tiers. PvE DPS Marksman Hunter is going to be excellent for players who prefer, you know, a very precise rotation. Being able to manage your mana, I guess, is going to be kind of an issue. I mean, I personally wouldn't suggest playing Marksman in Raid. Just saying, if you want my opinion, play BM early on. You know, if you don't want to deal with the pet management, I guess Marksman is a better choice for you. But if you want to pump and have an easy time doing it, you just play BM early in TBC and Raids. As for PvP, Marksman is a very strong PvP spec. You get those big burst combos with aim shot, multi-shot, scatter shot, trap, you know, strong against healers thanks to Mortal Strike effect from your aim shot. You have great control tools like Gather, Trap, Silencing Shot. You lose to BM in pure dueling power, but you have a lot better control and CC. So if you're fighting a BM hunter one-on-one, they are going to output more damage than you, but you can win in that control game, if that makes sense. But in summary, Marksman Hunters in the Burning Crusade, for PvE, they're solid, but definitely overshadowed by BM, especially early on. And in PvP, they are reliable, bursty, CC heavy, great for arena and battlegrounds. You will have, you know, a lot of fun playing Marksman Hunter. They're perfect for the methodical player, is how I would put it. Like someone who wants to control the situation rather than have pure power and pure DPS. You're going to want to be precise, set up those controls, set up those kills for your teammates in arenas and BGs, and you'll probably enjoy Marksman quite a bit. For the next part of the video, we're going to talk about Survival Hunters, and in terms of PvE DPS, it's not a top tier damage dealer, but it does bring massive raid utility. You bring Expose Weakness, which is a talent that gives your raid a bonus attack power based on your agility and crits. It's used in 25 mans to boost the overall raid's DPS, especially for physical damage heavy comps. You have Trap, CC, and range control, which every hunter does have, and it scales extremely well with gear and becomes competitive later on in the expansion. So after tier 5 is when you're going to see survival hunters really start picking up, but even early on, raids are going to want a survival hunter in there for Exposed Weakness, right? In terms of PvP though, survival and PvP, you're basically a trap master and a crowd control expert. You lack the damage of marksman and beast mastery, but you definitely make up for it in terms of control. You have deterrence, wyvern sting, improved traps, so it makes you kind of slippery and very annoying to lock down. You do get great burst with explosive trap setups, but it works best in team play. It's definitely not a duelist. It's a lot less bursty than BM or marksman, but it has a lot more survivability, hence the survival tree. So in summary, for survival hunters, PvE, you're just a utility support DPS, definitely need one in every single raid, and for PvP, you're a control-focused hybrid DPS with great survivability, arguably a lot better than BM and marksman. You know, the person who's going to play this is going to be that tactical player that likes the trap gameplay and providing utility to their teammates and raids, right? So the final verdict, should you play Hunter moving into the Burning Crusade from vanilla, right? Hunters in TBC are one of the best rounded classes in the game. Again, one of my favorites. It's what I'm maining moving into the expansion. Beast Mastery, you got your top tier PvE DPS and very beginner friendly. Marksman, you got your solid control and a lot of fun in PvP. And then your Survival Hunter for that raid utility and trap mastery. So you're going to play a Hunter if you want to top DPS meters while providing those raid buffs. You're going to be sought after quite a bit, especially early on, for that damage that you have. It's obviously a pet class, which makes it feel even more powerful. You have a strong solo leveling and farming experience. So if these are things that interest you, then Hunter really might be the class for you. So if this video helped you guys decide what you want to play moving into the Burning Crusade, drop it a like. Follow me on kick.com/hammerdance. We stream Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. But anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel if you love Classic WoW just as much as me. Thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.